Okay, so it's about everything is connected with everything, or into our circle. It was said, um, I am becoming aware of my am and my I am presence, and then I connect to myself to the fact everything is connected. I disagree with this because I think it's very, very important to make a difference between connection and relation. Yes, everything may be in relation to each other, or I mean, it's interrelated, but it's not necessarily connected. A connectedness is much closer than being in a relation with it. And this whole thing started, or there is a big move about that because of the flower of life. And yes, it's good to have that understanding of, in some way, there is a relation to everything, and it's that we have a holistic understanding. But we must learn to come away from the fact that it's like a burden. When we connect to everything and everybody, that puts us into a burden also, because we are growing into a new time, and for us to be able to grow into the new, we must release ourselves from ego-minded behavior. So I asked the question, do you want to be connected to like a very hardcore ego-orientated person? And this is not only the person itself. Sometimes, yes, it's going through an experience, but sometimes it's really on a soul level that somebody is still ego-based. And that's okay. That soul makes the choice to still want to be, or to want to be, ego-based. But in this transformation, in this in this shift that we are making, we must consciously detach ourselves from the connectedness to those ego souls, because that's too heavy for us to carry along. It's like a heavy carriage that we have behind us. We must take over responsibility for our own action, and to surround ourselves with people, with souls who are like-minded. There are about 4% on this planet who really see. We don't talk about those. We're talking about 26% of the people incarnated on this planet right now are willing to shift. I mean, some have a higher level of willingness, some a lower, but some, I mean, they all want to shift. They have it somewhere within themselves. There are about 20% who are still like, is there something? Is there not something? And those can also be, they have the potential to awaken. But there are some souls who are so attached to materialism, to ego-based living. They are just incapable at the moment, or they just don't want to. So yes, we can be in some kind of relation with them, but we don't need to take them along at the moment. So it's our responsibility for this shift, for this transformation to happen, that we are consciously acting in a new way, and that we are only taking over responsibility for ourselves and for the people who reach out for support. The time is over. The time is over for having everybody in the boat. over the last so many years, we had the chance to prepare ourselves. Well, now is the time where it's over. The preparation time is definitely over. The choices have been made. And then, there is a planet of chaos. These souls can go there. And they can live their ego-based soul presence as long as they want to. Maybe for, I don't know, long. But if they want to, or if they start to realize maybe there is something else, they can call upon me and I will show them the path to let go of ego. So it's an old concept, and that concept may be revised, may be transformed, and we may learn to embody that. Because, the flower of life is beautiful, and it shows us the basics that every action that we make reaches everybody. It's more like showing what kind of impact we have on the whole, but it doesn't mean that we need to take everything back. If it supports us on our consciousness of how we act, react, and how we are in our lightful presence, then fine, take it. And in my opinion, this underlines once more, it's so important to use this for this, the flower of life, but there is such a huge difference to the remembrance sign. The remembrance sign really supports us in the shifting. We are growing into the time of Lemuria, into the Lemurian essence. We're growing back to Lemuria, which is completely free of any ego. It's completely love-based. It's in a lightful world. So do we want to take the ego along in there? No, we don't. So we need to release anything that's ego-based, any soul that surrounds us who wants to follow the path of ego is just, can't go into that space of Lemuria. It's impossible. So what we need to learn is to draw the line. We need to draw a line of who we want to be connected to, and also where we are walking to and with whom. We can always, and we must always be friendly to everybody. It's very important. Stay friendly to everybody. But choose well who you stay connected to. And that mindset brings us into the creation, into the co-creation of the new world, of the new, or kind of like back to Lemuria and beyond. Once again, that's the difference between the Atlantean remembrance and the Lemurian remembrance. So the ones who really see, they only have one perspective, and that's Lemuria, the quality of Lemuria, the quality of paradise, and beyond. And that beyond doesn't show yet. It shows until Lemuria, and then we've already gone a long way. That's why certain people still talk about Atlantis. We're kind of like going through the phase of Atlantis, maybe, to then proceed to Lemuria. But I think we don't need that. We can go straight to Lemuria. We can have the straight focus of the quality of Lemuria, of the Lemurian shine, of the Lemurian beauty, of the Lemurian love, really. And that is so voluminous, so huge. I am going to talk about that again in 7 Days of Rest. Lemurian feminine and Lemurian masculine, my goodness. The Lemurian masculine, wow, is just as beautiful as the Lemurian feminine. It's just so beautiful. And it's so full of volume, so full of space, so full of wow. Yeah. So that's why we need to draw the line, because otherwise it's going to take forever. I have spoken.